Athena, also spelled Athene, in Greek religion, the city protectress, goddess of war, handicraft, and practical reason, identified by the Romans with Minerva. She was essentially urban and civilized, the antithesis in many respects of Artemis, goddess of the outdoors. Athena was probably a pre-Hellenic goddess and was later taken over by the Greeks. Yet the Greek economy, unlike that of the Minoans, was largely military, so that Athena, while retaining her earlier domestic functions, became a goddess of war. She was the daughter of Zeus, produced without a mother, so that she emerged full-grown from his forehead. There was an alternative story that Zeus swallowed Metis, the goddess of counsel, while she was pregnant with Athena, so that Athena finally emerged from Zeus. Being the favorite child of Zeus, she had great power. Athena's association with the acropolises of various Greek cities probably stemmed from the location of the king's palaces there. She was thought to have had neither consort nor offspring. She may not have been described as a virgin originally, but virginity was attributed to her very early, and was the basis for the interpretation of her epithets Pallas and Parthenos. As a war goddess, Athena could not be dominated by other goddesses such as Aphrodite, and as a palace goddess, she could not be violated. In Homer's Iliad, Athena, as a war goddess, inspires and fights alongside the Greek heroes. Her aid is synonymous with military prowess. Also in the Iliad, Zeus, the chief god, specifically assigns the sphere of war to Ares, the god of war, and Athena. Athena's moral and military superiority to Ares derives in part from the fact that she represents the intellectual and civilized side of war and the virtues of justice and skill, whereas Ares represents mere bloodlust. Her superiority also derives in part from the vastly greater variety and importance of her functions and from the patriotism of Homer's predecessors, Ares being of foreign origin. In the Iliad, Athena is the divine form of the heroic martial ideal. She personifies excellence in close combat, victory, and glory. The qualities that lead to victory are found on the aegis or breastplate that Athena wears when she goes to war: fear, strife, defense, and assault. Athena appears in Homer's Odyssey as the tutelary deity of Odysseus, and myths from later sources portray her similarly as helper of Perseus and Hercules. As the guardian of the welfare of kings, Athena became the goddess of good counsel, of prudent restraint and practical insight, as well as of war. In post-Mycenaean times, the city, especially its citadel, replaced the palace as Athena's domain. She was widely worshipped, but in modern times she is associated primarily with Athens, to which she gave her name. Her emergence there as city goddess, Athena Polias, Athena, guardian of the city, accompanied the ancient city-state's transition from monarchy to democracy. She was associated with birds, particularly the owl, which became famous as the city's own symbol, and with the snake. Her birth and her contest with Poseidon, the sea god, for the suzerainty of the city, were depicted on the pediments of the Parthenon, and the great festival of the Panathenaea in July was a celebration of her birthday. She was also worshipped in many other cities, notably in Sparta. Athena became the goddess of crafts and skilled peacetime pursuits in general. She was particularly known as the patroness of spinning and weaving. That she ultimately became allegorized to personify wisdom and righteousness was a natural development of her patronage of skill. Athena was customarily portrayed wearing body armor and a helmet, and carrying a shield and a lance. Two Athenians, the sculptor Phidias and the playwright Aeschylus, contributed significantly to the cultural dissemination of Athena's image. She inspired three of Phidias's sculptural masterpieces, including the massive chryselephantine, gold and ivory statue of Athena Parthenos once housed in the Parthenon, and in Aeschylus's dramatic tragedy, Eumenides, she founded the Areopagus, Athens's aristocratic council, and, by breaking a deadlock of the judges in favor of Orestes, the defendant, she set the precedent that a tied vote signified acquittal.